CD.
YouTube and Twitch. What's going on? It's your boy Commander Ron. And as you can see in today's episode, we will be covering the Philadelphia Eagles. Gonna break down their roster, break down what Philadelphia did this offseason to help improve their roster and improve Jalen Hurts' weapons. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So, as we know, Philadelphia won back-to-back NFC East championships. They have been a good roster for a better part of over a decade with Howie Roseman. He's been very good at drafting, very good at developing players. And we'll see how they fare this off season or this regular season come 2026. So first up, we have their off season additions. So what they did coming off of a division title. Let me go over the trades and acquisitions first. So they traded A.J. Brown. Rumors started spreading about A.J. Brown being traded, about him wanting out, about him not wanting to play with Jalen Hurts. And then I think maybe 2 or 3 months into free agency, we saw A.J. Brown getting traded to New England. And then coaching here, they fired their offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo. They hired Sean Mannion to make them their new play caller. And this will be Jalen Hurts' 6th offensive coordinator he's been through. So looks like he's been through a lot of offensive coordinators in his time in the NFL. They lost their very good offensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland, who was a very big part of those Super Bowl runs, developing those tackles, those guards. He was a very, very good coach and a big reason as to why that line was dominant. And they replaced him with Chris Cooper. We'll see what he does, but I don't think that O-line is going to be as good as they were with him. I do think they will struggle a little bit with different looks the defense is going to give them, but we'll see. Their passing game, I think it will take a little bit of a hit just because you don't have the threat of AJ Brown going up and getting it. I think that will hurt them when it comes down to it. But you still do have Devontae Smith, who is very good, and I think he can step up as well. You got Hollywood Brown, who's probably going to be a depth piece. He might be their starting slot. I'm not 100% sure. They got Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay. I think he should be a good addition for them. Elijah Moore hasn't really panned out in the league as of yet, but I think he still has potential. And then you have a very good receiver in Mekhi Lemon, who's probably going to be starting opposite of Devontae Smith. This was their first round selection, and they're expecting a lot out of him this season. So I think he has the potential to be one of the best receivers in the league. We'll see what happens with Mekhi Lemon. And Hollywood Brown also has the potential to be a good receiver, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy over the duration of his career. So their defense, they did lose. Well, let's go to running game, actually. Let's go to the defense after this. So their running game, obviously, you have Saquon Barkley back, and He's looking to go back to that elite status he had in 2024 when he had that 2,000-yard season. 2024, Saquon was unstoppable. That man had a dominant year. Very, very good running back that year. Best running back in the league. Like offensive player of the year candidate. Oh, actually, he was the offensive player of the year. My apologies. So I think if he has that year where he can bounce back, he's going to be a dangerous part of this offense. And then you have him behind the O-line of Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens. You have Tyler Steen. And you have Lane Johnson, who is still one of the best tackles in the league, although he is aging. I think this year may be his last year. I could be wrong, but we will have to see an announcement on that after the season. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you have Jalen. They extended Jalen Carter this offseason over 4 years. They're guaranteeing him $106 million a year. That's $106 million. That's $38 million a year. I think Jalen Carter is good, but does he struggle at times getting off the blocks and shedding blocks? Yes. If Jalen Carter can improve those aspects of his game, I think he can be a very disruptive defensive tackle in this league when given the opportunity. But I can see why the Eagles gave him that amount of money, because he does still have talent and he can develop that talent over the course of these 4 years. So we'll see what happens. And obviously you're retaining Vic Fangio from last year, and he is entering his third year with the Eagles. And then you have guys like Jordan Davis, who's a very good run stopper. You've got Zach Bond, who was very good in coverage and at stopping the run. In New Orleans, he was mainly known as a run stopper, but when he got to Philly, he transformed. That dude, his coverage was underrated. Zach Bond's coverage was very good in 2024. Which is why he had the season he had. He had interceptions, he had sacks, he had tackles for loss, and he was voted an All-Pro that season. So Zach Bond is a very good linebacker, and I think you can continue to have him be that force in the middle and dominate games like he did in 2024. Quinyon Mitchell, one of the best corners in the league. Even though he is more of a zone corner, which is exactly what Vic Fangio runs. He runs that little cover 3 shell, keep everything in front of you, make the tackle. That is a perfect defense for Quinyon Mitchell and Tariq Woolen, who they added this offseason. Because when both of those guys are focused, both of those guys can be the best cornerback duo in the NFL. Because Quinyon, we've seen him shut down your receiver at times, but sometimes he will get caught lacking, he'll get beat. But in order for him to be successful, he has to have a focused mindset this year. And I think if this defense can be what it was the past 2 seasons, Quinyon Mitchell will be a problem, and he's probably going to become one of the premier corners in the league, probably this season or next season. We'll see what happens there. Going back to the offense, going to quarterback now. So over this offseason, Hurts says, hey, we're going to put more of an emphasis on passing. So I'm going to take the time out, get some of my guys here in Orlando, and I'm gonna work on passing. And I'm going to get chemistry with my guys. I'm going to try to be a better passer of the football. Yes, Jalen Hurts may not pass the ball much, but we have seen him be very good when he has to take over a game. It hasn't been consistent, but When Jalen Hurts has needed to take over a game, he did step up and he delivered. So I can't say, but can he be consistent with that this year? Can he be that guy? Because if that's what I'm worried about. If he's keying on Saquon Barkley and stopping the run, can Jalen Hurts take the reins and be able to win the game by himself? That is what I want to see. Yes, and he is a very good quarterback. He's showed up in the playoffs, won Super Bowl MVP, not taking anything away from him. Hurts is a very good quarterback, but can he take his game to that next level? That's what I'm looking forward to. Let's see. So Jalen Hurts last season threw for 3,224 yards, had 25 touchdowns, and he only threw 6 interceptions. So very good numbers here. Although his metrics did drop a little bit, he only had 7.1 yards per attempt. But I think that was also a mixture of Kevin Patullo not really trusting Jalen Hurts. I don't know what that's about, but I don't know if it was him trusting or the receivers not getting open down the field as much. I'm not sure. Although he still had a pretty good completion percentage at 64.8%. I'm sorry. So that's very solid, very good. So we know Jalen Hurts is a very capable starting quarterback in this league. But I think he has to have the talent around him in order for him to elevate his game. Because I think A.J. Brown brought a lot of that talent out of Hurts. You know, when Hurts needed a play, he said, "Hey, A.J. Brown's open. I'm gonna give it to him," because he knew A.J. Brown would come down with the football 90% of the time. So, as evident as you can see, they won the Super Bowl with that offense. They made 2 Super Bowls with that offense. Actually, they lost one to the Chiefs, and then they came back and beat the Chiefs 2 or 3 seasons later. So we've seen that offense be dominant, and we've seen that defense can be very, very good and a disruptive unit when they are on the field and healthy. And Hurts right now is entering the 4th year of a 5-year contract, in which he signed in 2023, worth $225 million. But see, my only question is, can his play reflect the money he got back in 2023 when he led his team to the Super Bowl? Because I believe he can. It's just, can his play evolve to where teams are not adjusting to him? And then can he learn this offense, and can he master the offense that Sean Mannion's about to run, which is more of a Shanahan style offense? So it's more of a power run offense instead of a passing offense. So I think this scheme will be tailored to his skill set. As long as you have a scheme tailored to Jalen Hurts' skill set, I think he'll be fine. But my key is, can he consistently step up when his team needs him? Because I've seen him do it every once in a while. In that Steelers game, he played well. In some games, he threw for 300 yards. Some games he had over 200 and maybe about 70 yards with his legs. So he played very well in those games. But I wouldn't say he had like, oh yeah, Hurts was dominant, man. He played great. I wouldn't say he had that type of game. I would have said he had a good game. May not have been the worst game, may not have been the best game, but he did have a good game. The only thing I'm worried about, he's proven that he can take over a game. But like I mentioned, can he be that guy in 2026? Can he say, Okay, the running game is not working. I'm gonna have to take this. I'm gonna have to take the reins today. Okay, the defense doesn't want to play well today. Okay, I'm gonna have to take over a game today. So can he be that guy to take over games consistently? And can that running game be what it was in 2024 when they had that Super Bowl run and ultimately won? That is my only question about the Eagles. Yes, they made moves this offseason. Who did they draft? Let me go take a look at their whole draft really quickly so we can see who they drafted. Because I believe these guys can potentially step up and be starters for them in the near future. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Eagles draft picks really quickly here. Let me go ahead and share my screen for y'all. So, boom, Command Shift S or Command S. There we go. So let's see. Oh, Eli Stowers. So Eli Stowers is actually a pretty good tight end, I see, because he was selected in the second round. So will he be? Is he going to start? I think if he performs well in preseason, I could see him being a good addition to that offensive group. But Kyle Lemon, I think, is going to be a top receiver in the league for years. Markel Bell, tackle out of Miami. So I think that's going to be your replacement for Lane Johnson if he ultimately ends up retiring at the end of this year. Cole Payton, that might be insurance for Hurts, but we'll see what happens there. We know all these guys are going to get a lot of playing time in the preseason. So Michael Morris, a developmental guard, in which they picked 207th overall. Cole Winsanewski, safety out of Texas Tech, another developmental guy. Uar Bernard, probably good run stopper. He can probably take over if anybody doesn't perform up to the standard that they need and want. And Keyshawn James Newby, outside linebacker out of New Mexico. Okay, so they drafted some pretty decent guys. So let's see. Boom. Let's go here. Okay, so they traded back with the Cowboys for a 2027 7th round pick. So it looks like let's see how many picks they have, because if they have any picks, I think they can develop for the future as well. And they can easily actually get another receiver if they have a good first round pick this year. So if they have a good first round pick, I think they'll be able to be a good team. And for right now, they still remain the biggest threat to the Commanders in the NFC East. So we'll see what happens with the Eagles this season. I think they'll still be a good team. I just don't know if they're going to be that dominant team that they were in 2024 when they had the number one defense, a top 5 offense, a top 5 rushing offense. So we shall see what happens with these Eagles this year. So, it wasn't very long with today, but I just wanted to dive into the Eagles, break down what they had going, because I think they're still the biggest threat in the NFC East. And let me know what y'all think about the Eagles down in the comments section. And I'll see y'all tomorrow on the next episode of Small Talk. Peace.